Hey guys, this is your host Nitin Binhani, and a very warm welcome to my startup podcast channel Jazair Audio, where we share real stories with real learnings.
Today's podcast is about Ecom Express, a logistics unicorn that fell from a rupees 7,000 crore or $814 million valuation to a rupees 1,407 crore or $164 million distress sale to its rival Delhivery. Some experts call it a strategic win, but really reads like a survival bailout. We're diving deep into 4 parts, covering the tale of rapid rise, strategic missteps, leadership voids, and ultimately, exit at a steep discount. Part 1. The Rise. Founded in 2012 by T.A. Krishnan and his co-founders, Ecom Express emerged as one of the most promising players in India's last-mile logistics space, especially serving the booming e-commerce sector. Ecom Express was positioned as a key logistics enabler for India's booming e-commerce industry that is projected to reach $325 billion by 2030. Think of it as the FedEx for your Flipkarts and Meeshos. Backed by global heavyweights like Warburg Pincus, Partners Group, and BII, it had raised a total of $324 million across 12 funding rounds, with its latest round being a Series C of $33.9 million on June 2024, where it was valued at a whopping rupees 7,000 crore, or $814 million. The rupees 7,300 crore, or $849 million planned IPO was also around the corner, and the unicorn status was within reach. Alas, that never happened. So what went wrong? Part 2. The cracks beneath the surface. And here's the twist. Just 9 months after raising Series C, Ecom Express got sold to its rival Delhivery for rupees 1,407 crore, with its 80% value being wiped out. So, what really happened? We cover the downfall in 3 points. A. Operational hurdles. Despite strong early momentum, Ecom Express was struggling with rising operational costs and a slowdown in revenue growth. Unlike vertically integrated players, it relied heavily on third-party providers. That's a double-edged sword. It reduces CapEx but compromises control over service quality. Without tight control over delivery times and package integrity, the brand suffered a lot on quality and trust. B. Revenue slowdown. Ecom Express saw its fortunes dwindle in FY 2024. Shipment volumes rose just 10%. Revenue growth stagnated at 2%, that is rupees 2,609 crore, or $304 million. However, net losses narrowed to rupees 256 crore, or $30 million, compared to FY 2023. In contrast, Delhivery has reported relatively stable revenue of rupees 8,142 crore, or $947 million, in FY 2024, and even narrowed its losses to rupees 249 crore, or $29 million. More notably, Delhivery turned profitable in Q4 of FY 2024. C. Single customer concentration. A key vulnerability was its overdependence on a single client, Meesho, which reportedly contributed nearly half of its revenues. As Meesho transitioned to its in-house logistics arm, Valmo, the impact pulled the plug on Ecom, with a major revenue stream having vanished. Over-reliance on a single client is always risky. When the dynamics shift, there's little room to recover. Part 3. Leadership void and financial red flags. In 2023, tragedy struck. T.A. Krishnan, co-founder and CEO of Ecom Express, passed away. Leadership matters, and in a mid-stage company facing turbulence, losing the person at the helm is destabilizing. But there was another issue lurking under the surface: allegations of financial misreporting. According to multiple sources, Ecom was accused of inflating its financials, thus denting investors' confidence and effectively shelving the IPO listing. Part 4. The Delhivery deal. And then Delhivery stepped in. Delhivery, a more robust and better capitalized logistics player, acquired Ecom Express for 1,407 crore, roughly 80% less than Ecom's peak valuation. For Delhivery, this was both opportunistic and strategic. It acquired Ecom's infrastructure, client base, and reach at a massive discount. For Ecom's investors such as Warburg Pincus, Partners Group, BII, well, they exited with major losses. For other players, the consolidation is inevitable. Finally, key lessons for entrepreneurs. So, what can you learn from the distress sale of Ecom? Here are the 5 takeaways. 1. Don't over-rely on one client. Ecom Express had 40 to 50% of its revenue tied to Misho. When that disappeared, there was no plan B. As a founder, ask yourself, can your startup survive if your top client walks away? Always diversify your customer base. 2. Leadership is irreplaceable in mid-stage startups. The death of T.A. Krishnan left a vacuum. If you're a founder, build succession planning early, even if it's uncomfortable. Always build a resilient leadership team and succession plan. Culture and continuity can't be built on one person's shoulders alone. 3. IPOs are not the endgame. Profitability is. Chasing an IPO without ironing out core financials is risky. Ecom Express's failed IPO attempt stemmed from financial irregularities, and the damage was irreversible. And a public listing won't fix what's broken internally. 4. Infrastructure versus control. Ecom Express outsourced a lot. It gave them scale, but limited control over delivery and quality. Delhivery, on the other hand, focused on tech and infrastructure. If you're building something critical, own most of your core stack. 5. Valuation doesn't equals to value. From peak valuation of rupees 7,000 crore to a distress sale of rupees 1407 crore happens only when hype is not backed by fundamentals. Ecom scaled hard, but with weak cost control, poor unit economics, and operational inefficiencies, it was only heading to a disaster. Focus on real growth, not cosmetic metrics. Ecom Express's journey is a tough but necessary reminder that growth must be balanced with sustainability, diversification, and strong leadership. For Delhivery, from a strategic standpoint, this was a power play, as they got assets on the cheap. The deal has sent ripples across the logistics ecosystem. It's a sobering reminder that valuations are volatile, growth is not necessarily a moat, and the startup's journey is brutal. Folks, that's it for today. Thanks for tuning in. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Join us next time as we continue exploring the dynamic world of startups and the valuable lessons from their journeys.